Hey everyone, it's Kara here from Boho and I am back. If you follow me on Instagram or if you're on my email list, then you already know that I was taking a little bit of time off. I kind of ran myself a little ragged in October with a bunch of travel and honestly just putting way too much on my plate. So much so that I actually had to cancel my last trip of October because I got so sick. Honestly, I just overwhelmed myself and I was running myself way too much, trying to accomplish way too much in the month of October, and I ended up having like the worst cold I've ever had in my entire life for about 4 days straight there at the end of October. So I announced on Instagram that I was going to take a few days off. I actually took a few days more than planned. I took about 5 days off instead of the 3 that I originally planned. But I really just wanted to make sure that I was refreshed and healthy and excited to get back into work. So I apologize for the long delay and my long absence, but I am finally here with your Plan With Me video for November. Now, this Plan With Me is actually going to be more of a flip through because I actually have everything already planned out for November. In those days that I took off, I really wanted to kind of rekindle my love for my bullet journal and really just enjoy it without worrying about filming anything or anything like that. One thing you're going to notice when I open this up is that I actually went back to a Leuchtturm bound notebook inside of my traveler's notebook. I loved the inserts. However, I was finding myself really missing my hardbound notebook. I think I've pretty much determined at this point that I love the hardbound notebooks and I love the traveler's notebook system. So having that combination of the two is what really works for me. So that's what I'm going to stick to, or at least until something else comes along that I want to experiment with. So I'm going to open this up and show you what I have going on. I decided to keep 2 inserts in here along with my notebook. So I have one for long-term collections, which you have seen inside of already, but I'll show you anyway. So this notebook contains things that I want to reference time and time again. So I've got my Tombow dual brush pen spread. I've got my twin tone dual tip markers. I've got some other stuff that I had kind of thrown in here. I've got my pastel and galaxy set of the Tombow dual brush pens, and then just some notes that I've taken at some events that I've gone to as well. So that's what this notebook is going to contain. And I'm going to put my little pen clip back on here. There we go. All right, so I've got my collections notebook in the front, and that's again for long-term collections. So things that I know I'm going to want to refer back to even once I'm out of this journal. And then in the back, I have my business insert. So this is where I just take notes. It's really kind of messy and it has some top secret stuff in it still that I can't show you quite yet. But one of these days I'll be able to flip you through my business journal. All right, and then of course I have my Leuchtturm 1917. I had one of these copper ones that I really love, and I decided to use that for fall. I think it's just so beautiful, such a beautiful fall color, so I thought it was appropriate. And I actually have this attached with 2 elastics, so I have one in the front cover and then one on the back cover. I was going to thread it through the spine like I did before, but I would have ended up with an extra elastic, and I thought I'd just give it a try this way for a little bit and see how I felt about it. All right, so let me show you how I have this all set up, and I really just spent the last 5 days relaxing, kind of recommitting to my health. I was doing some exercising and things like that, and then also working in my bullet journal. So let's flip through. You can see my index up front. I already have quite a few things listed out here. And then my very first spread is for future planning. So this is my Calendex. I do have a whole video on how the Calendex system works if you want to check that out. And then all of my events that I already had planned, I just wrote down here on page 3 and indexed them accordingly. And then I have my horizon. So anything past February, I just have some upcoming events, birthdays, holidays, and things like that. On the next page, I have my 18 before 2018 list, which I do have a whole blog post about this. If you want to check it out, I'll make sure to link that down below for you. Up next, I have my October spread. So basically from the middle of October on, I didn't write anything in my monthly insert. And so I decided that for these last few days, since I made the switch on the 26th, I was like, why don't I just create a small, like, mini October spread that has all of my monthly spreads all on one spread. So I have my traditional October like monthly log for those last few days. I have a mini habit tracker for those last few days. I haven't filled out for yesterday yet. I need to do that still. I have my 1 line a day. I have my mood tracker and then my gratitude log. So basically everything that I would spread out each month. Since I only had 6 days left in the month, I just kind of crammed it all on one spread. It worked out really well for the end of October. All right, and after that, on the left-hand side here, I have some collection ideas. This is where I'm going to list down anytime I think of a new collection that I want to create. I'll put it on this list so that I don't forget about it by the time I want to get around to actually creating that collection. And then on the right-hand side here, I have some notes that I took during a phone call planning out my subscription box. If you are not on my email list, then you also probably don't know that I have a subscription box coming out later this month. The very first box is going to be shipping at the end of December, just in time for the new year. And I have a lot going on trying to get ready for that. So these are just some notes that I took during that call. All right, up next, I decided to create a little meal plan for myself for this week. One of my big things in taking this break and realizing that, I was running myself ragged was that I'm really not taking care of myself, not only in the rest factor, but also in my diet and my exercise. So those are things that I really wanted to focus on in these last few days that I took off. So I created a meal plan. This was my list to go to the grocery store, and we've been sticking to that this week, and it's been wonderful. On the right-hand side, I did a little spread called On My Mind. It's essentially a brain dump, but I just wanted to kind of get some things off my mind that were kind of eating at me while I was taking that time off, and just have them down on paper so that I could revisit them later and kind of ease my mind a little bit. And the plan there was just to have those things off of my mind so that I could actually relax a little bit more in those days that I took off. This next spread is one of my absolute favorites, and I decided I wanted to make a spread full of things that I could do to relax and refresh my mind, my body, and my spirit. I decided to get a little artsy on the left-hand side here, and I don't know if the camera's picking this up. This spread actually took me quite a few hours. I hope that's focusing. But I actually sat down, I watched a couple of movies on Netflix while I created this spread, and I just took my Tombow dual brush pens with the marker side and just did little dots all around the words. I love how it turned out. I think it's gorgeous, and it was actually kind of a relaxing Zen thing to do, if that makes sense. And then on the right-hand side, I just listed out a few different things in each category. I can always add to this if I want, but for my mind, for example, is a commitment to learning, TED Talks, listening to podcasts, reading every day, etc. For my body, 30 minutes of cardio per day, strength training, drinking plenty of water, clean, healthy eating, all those good things. And then for my spirit, things like daily meditation, scheduling me time every week, relaxing yoga, journaling, gratitude logs. All right, and on the next page is my Peloton ride tracker. If you follow along over on Instagram and you caught my stories last week, you'll know that I just got a brand new Peloton bike. It's basically an at-home spin bike, but you can do live classes on it, and they have a really great community as well, this has been on my wish list forever. I saved up for it for a really long time, and we finally got it last week. And I'm in love. So I wanted a spread where I could track all of my rides that I take. And this is actually the first appearance of one of my new favorite pens, which is this Faber-Castell. It's a Pitt Artist pen, but it's more of a marker. It's a 1.5 millimeter. It has a marker tip, and it's like a copper color. And I absolutely love it. It's slightly metallic. You can kind of see it shimmering a little bit. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but I absolutely adore this marker, and it does not bleed through at all to the other side, which is amazing. and it matches my copper notebook perfectly. So I'm kind of in love. You'll probably see me using this a lot while I'm in this copper notebook. And I decided to do a little quote up top. It says, "Strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you thought you couldn't." So I absolutely love that. I thought it was very appropriate for my ride tracker. And along those same lines, within the Peloton community, there's a group called the Power Zone Pack, and it's basically a more structured form of cycling training, not just your regular spin class. You actually focus on being in different zones and improving those different zones over time. So I'm doing one of their challenges here. So I have the beginner challenge listed on the left. I have my starting stats, my goal, and then at the end of the 6-week challenge, I will be able to input my ending stats as well. And then up next, we move into November. So I have my traditional for me, monthly spread. So I have everything split by AM, PM, and all day events and appointments. And then I have a column on the right for things that are happening this month. And as always, I have everything color coded. I have pink for work, purple for personal, green for family, blue for birthdays, and orange for holidays. And then I have my other traditional monthly spread. So I have my gratitude log here on the left, and on the right-hand side, I have my habit tracker for November. And I went back to my standard habit tracker instead of that circular one I did last month. Honestly, it was just too complicated to draw over and over again each month. So one of these days I may create a sticker where I can just put that in there every month because it really is beautiful. But after having such a hectic October, I really wanted to keep things as simple as possible. So you'll see I have my regular tracker here, and then I have my mood tracker. Again, instead of doing the mandala, it was just too complicated for me to wrap my head around when I was setting up for November. I just decided to do my AM and PM moods every day right here on my tracker. And then we move into my first weekly spread, which is this current week. And you can see again, I used my copper pen, which I absolutely adore. And I have everything planned out for the week. It's really pretty simple. I've got all of my appointments on the left-hand column, and then schedule like things that I want to get done that day, but not necessarily at any given time, are right there on the right. And then I have things that I want to accomplish this week, and then things that are coming up on the horizon. And then finally, we have my first daily spread in my new journal, which is today, Wednesday, November 1st. So I have everything that I want to get done today. I went ahead and marked off film, edit, publish this video because I'm doing it right now, but I'm sticking to pretty much the same format as I was before. I've got my daily time bar up at top. If anyone's curious about that, I do have a video about my time bar. I'll try to link that below for you as well. And then my daily header with my weather and everything else, and then my events and appointments and tasks for the day. So that is it for my November plan with me. I know it's not the typical me drawing things out for you, but I thought you guys might like to see how I have everything set up even though I did it off camera. And I do just want to say again, thank you all so much for bearing with me and being so kind about me taking some time off. I really needed it. I really feel so refreshed and ready to kind of get back into the swing of things today. And I'm just grateful to have a community that loves and supports me even when I'm totally crashing and totally down. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I will have another video this week on Friday. That is going to be my first NaNoWriMo 2017 vlog. I am still participating in NaNoWriMo. I am still going to be vlogging my experiences every day, and I'll be compiling that into a weekly video that's going to be out every Friday for you guys. All right, y'all, so that's going to wrap it up for this month's plan with me. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, anything along those lines, drop those in the comments section below, and I will try to join in the conversation down there. And I will look forward to seeing you really soon. Bye.